In an effort to appreciate life more, I thought, who said that the things that bring me joy have to be big? It can be something random and small, something which can be too embarrassing or too intimate to admit. That's why I'm doing this on YouTube. It's a perfect space as I can be heard, but not like I'm announcing this to the world. Just to some of you who'll decide to watch, here are random things that make me happy. Edited SoundCloud songs. What I mean by that isn't necessarily professionally edited songs like remixes, but usually slowed or sped up popular songs. Let's go back in history a little. When I first started out on SoundCloud as a fan audio editor, I think many people followed the footsteps of Not Shikari. I think audio editing came even before that with YouTube. We editors had a rule that if we wanted to post edits to music, we needed to change the music so that YouTube won't copyright strike us. Back then, we only slowed down the songs. However, as it does happen when people experiment, some editors, mostly anime editors, they started to speed up songs instead. It created a different mood for edits and definitely a fresher view for editing in general. I first saw edits with sped up songs from a Russian editor on YouTube. It was to Rihanna's Monster. That video created waves among us, and suddenly it seems like we all started to experiment with audios as well. When I switched to Instagram editing, I think it was a video by some editor with Sherlock Holmes in their username. They had made something to that audio, either added effects or made it loop, which became very trendy later. I discovered a niche on SoundCloud and started to make my own audios. I was inspired by Not Shikari as well for their effect use on the audios. Later with TikTok, it became popular to add voiceovers to audios. Now we have well-edited audios on SoundCloud with effects, loops, voiceovers. I think these audios aren't even catered to editors anymore. They are created in a way that anyone can make an edit in their head using imagination. That's why these audios make me happy. They are a way to escape routine for a couple of minutes, to imagine yourself or your favorite characters in an edit of your imagination's choice. They are a way to escape routine for a couple of minutes, to imagine yourself or your favorite characters in an edit of your imagination's choice. In my free time, I listen to them only. I don't have Spotify, Apple Music or else, and never had. I think edited audios tell a lot more story, at least stories I can relate to. They connect me to a community I feel a part of. When I watch fan edits now, one of the most important things for me is the music. If it doesn't hit, then the whole edit is a mess. These audios also bring me back to the time I was editing as a teen, when all of this was just a hobby for all of us nerds. Holiday specials. I'm mainly talking about consumer goods here. It may be extremely superficial, but I just love when it's autumn and winter and all the companies bring out something festive to the market. I live in Russia, so our market is constantly limited to 1% of what the American market has. By the way, I just found out that the company that has bought out Starbucks here will be selling the same holiday drinks: gingerbread latte, white mocha, and others. Even though it will hurt my wallet, I just must buy them at least once. I would love to add those drinks and time spent in the cafe to the beautiful memories of fall 2023. That's why no matter what a shithole America may seem to its residents, it's my dream to live there once. When the sanctions weren't that bad here, I spent my saved up money on holiday drinks. Pumpkin spice latte, gingerbread latte, they were my favorite. I would buy the holiday coffee roast, that red coffee bean pack. I would go to H&M, which is closed here as well as anything foreign. See the silly overpriced sweaters, candles in H&M home. My student years are filled with memories of being a part of American holiday culture, and they are one of the only good memories of those years. I make pumpkin pie every autumn. It advanced my cooking for sure, so that's a plus. Still, it's not enough, and I would love to become a part of autumn-winter celebration in America, making my own makeup. This goes back to the previous point of not being able to enjoy some small things in life due to living in a sanctioned country. Back when I was a teen, I really enjoyed the makeup beauty community with all of its drama and reviews in general. buying the coolest, newest item wasn't always the option to a broke teen in Russia. Now that I have my money, I can't buy anything as all of the brands simply left. I started to think, is there a way for me to achieve a look without a product? I've talked in one of my shorts about it, but I really want to try out the Clinique Black Honey. Instead of getting the lipstick itself, I figured out how to achieve the look of it. If you've never tried to make your own makeup, I do recommend it. It's getting a bit popular on TikTok, where people try different hacks, like making a black gloss using mascara and transparent lip gloss. In general, you can make anything. That's the reason I have only one blush, for instance. It was a lipstick I've got from Lush called something like a first kiss. I used it as lipstick. The smell of it is still stuck in my head, one of a kind. Then I used it as blush. It was blood red. I got annoyed with it and mixed in some eyeshadow in it. I've played around with the new Apple Blossom blush. I've got annoyed with it as well and mixed in some berry lipstick in it. It's a nice burgundy winter shade. Looks as if you've been in a cold for a while. Now I've divided the same blush into small chunks and made myself a couple of new shades: baby pink, terracotta, and two of the chunks are still left for me to play. I make my own tinted brow gel with the shade, opacity, and hold power how I like it. It makes me so happy, and I think if I wasn't put in the position of DIYing, I wouldn't have explored this creative side of mine. Doing nothing. In the bottom of my being, I'm not a grinder or a hustler. I don't have it in me to aspire to wake up at 6 a.m., get my master's or the best job position, do 100 things of my to-do list, and so on. My ideal day looks like this. Wake up without an alarm, enjoy a delicious cozy drink, a light meal, lay on a bed and digest all of that, watch movies throughout the day or consume any other media, drink a couple of other delicious drinks, fall asleep. It may seem depressing and boring, but not to me. I have no desire to leave the house unless I need to. Most of my life I've lived in my head. I enjoy it. It brings me so much comfort. Going to the cinema to see the latest Marvel film, back when Marvel did good films, was such an experience for me. The ambience of the theater, the smell of popcorn, excited people walking up to your seat, watching commercials on a big screen. I even had dreams about seeing a movie a day before I was supposed to see it in a theater. This is how excited I was. I remember every movie I saw in the cinema. It was such a beautiful day each time. The only time I went to the cinema with my mother, we saw a Russian animated movie, a reimagining of a fairy tale. Then I saw the first Deadpool with pretty much all of my boy classmates. We were so scared they wouldn't let us in, as we weren't 16 yet. It was such an uproar about Deadpool being highly rated. Was it R? Then, the only time I was late to a movie, because I went with a girlfriend, I was so upset. We saw Danish Girl. It was a big no-no for me to be late to movies and obviously to go out during a movie, no matter how much you want to be. The day I saw Black Panther was incredible. It changed my life, no joke. I was in my first or second year of uni. I was shaking for a week before the day of my ticket. I somehow caught spoilers, which was annoying as I would always log out of Instagram before seeing a movie. Obviously, America has the movies before they are launched internationally, and we had them much later than the world. I would always be so overwhelmed after. It's like I would get a peek of a whole new different world, living in a dull real world. Now, with all of foreign movies being mostly shut down, the last enjoyable cinema day was when I saw Barbie and Oppenheimer. I saw on Instagram how people debated what to see first, and although I agree with people who said Oppenheimer first, Barbie second, I had to see the movies in the opposite order. Barbie was cheaper and Oppenheimer was available with pretty much the same price tag in a regular room and a VIP room, so I chose to see Oppenheimer in a VIP session on a sofa. I could order snacks, but I went to the supermarket and bought a bunch of shit food. It was such a beautiful day. I spent it all in the cinema, watching amazingly made movies. When the last movie ended, It was raining, my favorite type of weather. I was so overwhelmed and happy. One of the best days for sure. I love seeing movies by myself. I wish I could see the movies with a person who vibes the same way I do. But for now, it's pretty cool to spend time in the cinema myself. It makes me really happy. Rewatching. As much as I love watching new things, I love rewatching even more. I view it as something which brings me comfort or transports me to another, much more gentle time. I used to love watching Let's Plays when I was a teen. I miss my teenage years a lot. I wish I was a teen again. I would have loved to replay my teenage years or just to re-experience them again. But I would watch Let's Plays to all the popular games then. I watch the same Let's Plays now periodically when I feel sad or nostalgic. I love rewatching Pineview Drive or something like that. Alien Isolation, The Evil Within, Spooky Scarehouse, GTA. I get a little anxious with rewatching sometimes, as experiencing a lot of emotions terrifies me, but it's worth it when I want to feel a little happier. I would love to rewatch WandaVision, Twin Peaks, and Evil Within ASAP. Playing silly games. I love doing things which bring me back to my childhood. When I was in elementary school, I would come back from classes and play random online games. Playing the same games now reminds me of that time I didn't have to do anything, worry about anything. Being constantly filled with anxiety, I appreciate any moment I can turn my brain off. I love games about farming most of all. They're very systematic and you can instantly see the result of your action. I also love cooking games, not the ones you need to serve people, but just calm cooking ones. I vividly remember one about making sushi. Not sure if it still exists. I also loved one game about making balls. It's like a ball factory where they show you the type of a ball you need to make, what shapes to draw on it and stuff, and you need to replicate the order of creating a pattern on it. It's a logical game. I struggle to pinpoint particular reasons I love my life. I would say I just enjoy the little things. These things are within my comfort zone, and I think by expanding my comfort zone, I would find happiness in a lot more things. Right now, I'm trying my best to find good in everything. If some of the things have resonated with you, tell me about it in the comments, or share anything that makes you happy.